EA.com. In addition, we have posted detailed earnings slides to accompany our prepared remarks. And lastly, after the call, we will post our prepared remarks, an audio replay of this call, our financial model, and a transcript. With regards to our calendar, our Q4 fiscal 2022 earnings call is scheduled for Tuesday, May the 10th. And as a reminder, we post the schedule of our entire fiscal year of upcoming earnings calls on our IR website. This presentation and our comments include forward-looking statements regarding future events and the future financial performance of the company. Actual events and results may differ materially from our expectations. We refer you to our most recent Form 10-Q for a discussion of risks that could cause actual results to differ materially from those discussed today. Electronic Arts makes these statements as of today, February 1st, 2022, and disclaims any duty to update them. During this call, the financial metrics, with the exception of free cash flow, will be presented on a GAAP basis. All comparisons made in the course of this call are against the same period in the prior year, unless otherwise stated. Now, I'll turn the call over to Andrew.
Thanks, Chris. I hope all of you and your families and loved ones are staying healthy. Let me first say thank you to our talented teams at Electronic Arts. All 12,000 people putting so much energy every day into an amazing...
Hello Predators, welcome to Apex Legends Mobile's India's YouTube channel. Today we will be streaming the EA conference of February 2022. Here they will be discussing about the complete budget they have for Electronics Arts future, as well as they may be talking about Apex Legends Mobile and all the things that they may talk about.
He taught us many things over nearly 35 years of partnership. Some of the most important lessons, including authenticity, are things
I want you to know that the Apex Legends Mobile news would not be the main part of the conference. They may talk about it for, let's say, for 5-10 minutes, or they may even not talk about it. But the thing to look forward to is that, as you know, today they have dropped the official announcement about the release of soft launch and all the countries that would allow soft launch to take place. The thing is that considering that such an announcement has already been made today, we are actually looking forward to have some great news for the upcoming soft launch. Probably the dates of the soft launch, or even if they are going to add new countries into the soft launch, or let's say the issue with iOS mobile. Now many of you may know that iOS has actually a high amount of security, so bringing consistent updates in iOS is quite hard. But let's see what the developers or the staff of the EA, the members of the EA, has to say about Apex Legends Mobile and their issue. While the complete conference is going on, please let me know in the comments, in the message section, and put a live chat, letting me know that if you want me to talk about Apex Legends Mobile, your favorite characters, your favorite legends, let's talk about some maps and have an in general discussion on Apex Legends Mobile, or would you like to listen the conference completely from start to end? If according to your choice, according to your needs, I can thus make sure that we may have an engaging chat on Apex Legends Mobile, or we may actually listen to the conference and know what their plans are for the company and the next quarter, how they are going to also update us on Apex Legends Mobile soft launch, and when they are going to release the game. If we are blessed with the information today, it's going to be a great thing. Let me know in the chat what your thoughts are.
Players can expect meaningful updates to continue in the weeks ahead, and we are shifting the first season of live service content to early summer as we work closely with our community to evolve and improve the core experience in Battlefield 2042. Despite Battlefield's miss against our expectations, with the strength of our business, we are continuing to deliver record growth and performance in FY22. With Battlefield's performance to date and our decision to move the first season of live service into Q1 FY23, so we can focus on the core experience, we have adjusted our full-year net bookings guidance to $7.525 billion, which remains $225 million.
The date is something that we all want, Sammy. The date is something that we all want at all cost.
Operational discipline and continuing digital transformation, we're reaffirming our full-year expectations for underlying profitability. We expect strong growth to continue in FY23. Looking across our portfolio, we saw continuing year-over-year growth in total players, engagement, net bookings, cash flow, and underlying profitability in
Battlefield are actually one of
I'll touch on each
the
of
next
those
big
pieces.
title EA is working on. So I'm thinking they may mostly be discussing about the game. But let's see how they are able to keep us engaged on Apex Legends Mobile's news.
Over the last year, our network has grown to more than
Mike Split is
540
asking, will controller be
accounts across more
supported?
than 18
Yes, they are
games
going
and
to
25
allow
live
controller
services,
in the game.
spanning
The
all
reason
major
is quite
platforms,
simple
console
because
to
as you have
PC
played
to
CODM
mobile
or
and
even Fortnite, controllers
From
are
an
allowed. This
engagement
also
standpoint,
helps
more
us
players
to
are spending more time in
drive
our
more
titles.
people into the
Looking
game
across our
as well as
portfolio
allowing
on
the
all
controller
platforms,
player from
we've
the
had more than
PS4 or
180
from the
million
PC
monthly
platform to
active
try the
accounts on
game,
average
giving it more
in our game
popularity,
during
adding more
FY22.
players to it, and also
Apex Legends
increasing the
monthly active
overall
players are up more than
skill
30%
level and
year-over-year in Q3.
the basically you can
And across
say
our combined
the
EA
overall
Sports
gaming experience
portfolio,
for the
monthly
community,
active
making
players
sure
are
that
also
each and
growing
every one of the
year-over-year.
players can enjoy the game.
Engagement is deepening as well, with players spending nearly 20% more time in games across our portfolio in FY22 compared to the previous year. Growth in our network and engagement continues to drive growth in our business. With our top franchises delivering strong recurring revenue, our net bookings for Q3 grew 7.4% year-over-year for the quarter, and the full year we project 22% growth in net bookings over last year. Performance across the business and operational discipline also continue to deliver strong cash flow and underlying profitability growth in Q3. The continued growth is anchored by proven franchises where we have a strong track record for execution.
What do you guys say? Shall we talk about Apex Legends Mobile until they are discussing about other games?
Successful ongoing live services in the industry and is built on our owned IP. With more than 28 million new players joining the last year and new seasons and in-game events that continue to deliver new experiences to a deeply engaged community, FY22 is the biggest year yet for Apex. Average player investment in the game has grown significantly year over year, and we continue to expect net bookings for Apex to approach 1 billion in FY22. We are expanding to reach more players and viewers with new original content on the way. Our growing
They are
Apex
currently talking
Legends
about the
esports
F1
ecosystem
racing
and
game, I
Apex
guess,
Legends Mobile
and not
will
on Apex
soon be
Legends
moving
Mobile.
into soft launch as we continue our worldwide rollout. We've had strong engagement and community feedback during closed beta testing, and we're excited for more players to experience Apex Legends Mobile soon. Mobile is a core growth engine for us, and it is accelerating. With new launches and acquired expertise and technologies leveraged across our portfolio, we expect mobile to be a major catalyst in FY23 with growth well into the double digits. Led by Apex Mobile, our newly updated FIFA mobile game, Golf Clash, and more unannounced projects, we are expanding our portfolio of more than 15 top mobile live services to reach new audiences and grow our recurring revenue. EA Sports is a powerhouse in the sports and entertainment world. We've driven hundreds of
They are
millions of dollars
actually
in net
expecting
growth year to date.
awesome growth
With our
from
EA
mobile
Sports
then.
business up nearly
In the
10%
2023
year-over-year.
year, they are
We
actually
continue to see
expecting great
incredible
growth from
growth for the
mobile,
future of global
especially
soccer,
because of
and
the
our
release
global
of
soccer
Apex Legends
franchise was
Mobile.
the #1 title in the Western world in calendar 2021. Madden NFL 22 was the #1 sports title in the US during the holiday period, and it was the #3 top-selling game in the US for all of last year. Under our leadership, F1 2021 also continues to perform well above expectations, with unit sales nearly doubling year over year during the holiday period. In our mobile sports portfolio, we just launched the latest version of our EA Sports FIFA mobile game around the world. This was the biggest update to the game ever, and early performance has been exceptional. Engagement is up more than 50% over the previous season, and retention in the first week is nearly double. With the added expertise of Playdemic and Glue, and a deep pipeline of new sports experiences
the
in
discussion.
development,
Shinzo
EA
is asking
Sports
about an
continues
esports
to
scenario
be an
discussion.
exceptional growth business, built on predictable and
Yeah,
recurring
they have to
revenue.
put India for soft launch.
with outstanding
Actually, as a matter of fact, they should have put
opportunities
India for soft launch. I was expecting
pipeline
that they
further
will put
amplifies
India
our
for soft
strength.
launch, but
In addition to our core
well, they didn't
franchises, we are building
because
new
India
experiences
has
in some of
quite
the
a
biggest
large audience for
enduring
Apex
IP
Legends
in
Mobile
entertainment.
and
Last
also
week
for
we announced a new
mobile
agreement with
gaming in
Disney and
general. So I
Lucasfilm
had
Games
really
to
great
develop new
hopes.
experiences
But
for
we
the
have
Star
to
Wars universe.
use other
Continue our
methods, get the
collaboration
game,
of more than
use
a decade.
VPN, which
Respawn
sucks.
is leading development of the next game in our action-adventure Star Wars Jedi series, as well as 2 additional Star Wars titles. This adds to our deep pipeline of announced and unannounced projects with our wholly owned IP, including Need for Speed, our BioWare franchises, The Sims, Skate, Dead Space, and more. Looking ahead, we are continuing to build on the structural advantages of our portfolio and accelerating growth by executing against
Sammy,
our
they are
core
currently
strategy.
talking about the
We are
Star Wars
focused
series
on
that they are going to
creating amazing
continue,
games and content,
probably on the
providing
PC
creation
and
tools to continue to engage more deeply
PS5
with our
platform.
experiences, aggregating and distributing our content experiences to more players on more platforms in more geographies and more business models, and harnessing the power of the social ecosystems in and around our games. The demand for amazing games and new ways to play, watch, share, and create has never been stronger. And one of the industry's largest, most profitable businesses with strong recurring revenue, we are well positioned
Yeah,
to take
Astro, that's a
advantage
fact.
of this
If they launch the
continued
game in
secular
India,
growth.
the server
We
is
look
definitely
forward
going to
delivering
crash.
against these opportunities
Man, people
through
are
FY23
literally waiting
and
for the
beyond.
game. They
Now,
want to
I'll hand
grind
it
the
over to
game,
Blake.
they want to
Thanks,
push
Andrew.
rankings.
Q3 was a quarter that
It's
demonstrated
just
the strength
you
of
drop
our
the
live
game.
services
We don't
portfolio.
expect anything else from EA.
Despite
Just
a tough
drop the
Battlefield launch,
game.
we came
That's
within
all.
a couple of percent of our net booking guidance and beat our expectations for underlying profitability. The quarter was the largest in our company's history for net bookings, underlying profitability, and cash generation. Sales of Battlefield 2042 were disappointing, but they are offset by a strong showing from FIFA and continued strength from Apex and our other franchises. We delivered net revenue of $1.79 billion and net bookings of $2.58
They are
billion.
talking about the quarter's
FIFA
profitability of this
22's
year.
Strong start
This quarter, sorry.
continued into this quarter, with unit sales now up double digits over last year, launch to date. And players continue to engage in FIFA Ultimate Team and invest in their teams. This has made it the strongest FIFA launch ever measured from launch to the end of Q3. Apex Legends net bookings continue to grow at an extraordinary rate and will deliver close to $1 billion for the year. Digital represents 64% of our full game units sold through on a
Shinzo is
trailing
asking, can
12-month
Apex Legends
basis,
Mobile be on the level of
up 2
PUBG M
percentage
in
points
esports,
from
or is
last
gonna
year.
beat PUBG M?
The
If you are
strong digital
asking
mix for
if
full
my
game
personal
sales,
opinion
aided
sticks,
by
then I
growth
would
in
say it will
live
be on
services,
somewhere a level of PUBG
pushed
M Mobile,
underlying
because PUBG
Q3
Mobile has
gross
grown
margin
into a really
2.3
big
percentage points
esport
above last year.
esport mobile gaming,
Operating
and actually
expenses, which
mobile gaming
includes
as such
recent
got
acquisition
introduced into
costs,
the world
came in
when
below
PUBG
our
Mobile
expectations,
started doing
driven by
such sort
variable
of their tournaments.
compensation and
Apex
savings and
has a
phasing
chance
of
of
marketing
beating PUBG
spend.
Mobile because Apex is a
It's
very
worth
versatile game. It has
noting that we
various
were
features
able
that
to hire
are
more
way
people
above
than
the
in
way
any
before
other
the time,
quarter in our
that are
history.
really
And
above
we're
the game of
continuing
Apex
to
of
invest
PUBG
in our
M,
game team.
and it also has
We
you
now
can say
expect fiscal 2022
the legend
GAAP
system.
net
Basically,
revenue
it
to
also
be
is something that will keep you engaged in the game. You will never be bored in the
Cost of
game. You could
revenue
just
to
switch
be
the legend and enjoy it. So
$1.844 billion,
statistically
and earnings per
speaking,
share of
we would have to see how it
$2.43,
may fight
up
against
from our
PUBG M.
original
But if
expectation
I
of
have to give my opinion, then
$1.34.
yeah, Apex will
We are
prevail.
taking our
If
net
Apex
bookings
will
guidance
defeat
for
PUBG
the
M
year to
in
$7.52
the esports
billion.
scenario.
Although a $100 million reduction on our position at the end of Q2, it is still $225 million above our original guidance for the year. The reduction is driven by Battlefield 2042 in both Q3 and Q4, but offset by the strength in the rest
Yeah,
of our business,
PUBG is quite
particularly in
easy to
FIFA
play
and
for
Apex
anyone.
Legends. We're committed
Because
to turning
the
Battlefield
thing is,
around
in
and building a
PUBG there is only
sustainable
one
live
character
service,
that you make.
even as some of the actions
The
we're
mechanics
taking,
of the game
like
is
moving the
similar
first season
for
into
each and every player.
FY23,
They do not have any kind of
impact
abilities, so
net
it's
bookings
very
for the
easy to
short term.
understand game. And the main goal is
Reflecting the
your
strength of our
aiming skills
portfolio,
and your
our operating
positioning,
cash flow guidance is
mostly
now
using cover. But
$1.9
Apex
billion.
Legends Mobile, because
This
of
would be
the legend
close to the
system,
largest
the
full-year
literal
operating
mechanics
cash flow in the
changes from
company's
a
history.
legend to another
Despite
legend. You can use
nearly
Pathfinder and you
$200
can
million
still play very
of
aggressive, but you
one-time
cannot
tax
have an
payments
aggressive gameplay
related to
using
acquisition
Gibraltar.
this year.
You literally have to
With capital
switch your
expenditure
gameplay. If
still
you are
around
someone who
$200
is
million,
Wrath
that
main
would
and
deliver
switching to
free cash
Gibraltar,
flow of
or even
$1.7
switching to
billion.
Crypto as a support
Note
legend,
that this
it's
is
really
$200
hard,
million
and it's
above
really
our
hard
original
to keep up with the
expectations for
with the change,
FY22 free
and
cash
still
flow.
give that amount of
See our earnings
awesome,
slide
still
and press
take that
release
amount
for
of
further
awesome
cash
kills,
flow
still
information.
give that amount of
For the
awesome
fourth
content with
quarter, we
other legends.
expect GAAP
It
net
really,
revenue
really
of
takes a lot of hard work.
$1.759 billion.
And that is
Cost of
one of the
revenue to
reasons
be
why I think
$404
many people may
million,
quit
and
Apex Legends Mobile,
operating expenses
because
of
it's not an easy game to master.
$1.086
Each and
billion.
every legend has its
This
own
results in
users,
earnings per
its
share
own
of
style of
46
playing,
cents for the fourth
and
quarter.
its own abilities also
We
to take
expect
care of.
Q4
Not only
fiscal
that, but since
2022
it's a
net
three-man game,
bookings
the
be
legends combination, the abilities combination of the legends can make out games we can't even think of. We are literally seeing pro players of in Apex Legends like ACU, Timmy, and there are many others who are literally destroying lobbies with gameplays and game sense we never can possibly imagine. So yeah, Apex Legends is going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it.
Let me emphasize here again that we are a portfolio company. As originally forecast, the Battlefield franchise would have accounted for significantly less than 10%
Okay,
of
my
this
Discord name
year's
is
net bookings,
in the chat. I've
and
just
well below
typed in the chat my
5%
Discord
of
name.
next year.
Please check on
We're
that.
revising those numbers, but you can see it has little impact on FY23 growth. The main drivers of growth next year remain FIFA on console, Apex
Let me
Legends,
just put it there.
Apex Mobile, and FIFA Mobile. Golf Clash will also contribute to year-on-year growth since we acquired Playdemic halfway through the year. With regard to new launches in FY23, we've disclosed that Need for Speed is on the slate, and we'll announce more titles closer to the
Yeah,
time.
this is my Discord
In
name.
total, we still expect mid to high
If you guys
single-digit growth
wanna
next year.
send me friend request,
To
friend request, do
summarize,
send me
we
friend
just
request.
delivered the largest quarter
We can
in
play
the
together.
company's history. FIFA goes from strength to strength.
Yeah,
Apex
Astra, I've been
Legends
playing Apex Legends for quite
continues to show
and I'm literally playing
extraordinary
Apex
growth.
Legends from the season 1 of the game,
Disappointed, but our
and
broad
I have
portfolio
quite
of
a
games and
knowledge
live
when it
service
comes to game sense and
insulates us
gameplay
from
mechanics.
the impact of any one title.
I've been
Our
playing Apex Legends
portfolio
for like on my PS for
approach
quite
enables
a
us
long
to
time,
deliver
and I actually
double-digit organic
hope to
growth
make
this year and
a
continue
great
to
change
deliver strong
into my
cash flow,
gameplay when it comes
and
to Apex
provides
Legends
a
Mobile,
strong
especially changing
foundation
from
for growth as we look
Bloodhound
to
as
the
my
future.
main to mostly Wrath
Before I hand the call
as
to
my main.
Andrew,
Switching
you may
into
have
aggressive
noticed that
playstyles from
yesterday
making
we
the
announced a new
strategical
CFO
playstyles.
for the
I'm going to
company.
switch into aggressive playstyles.
And I think the new CFO, Chris, is going to be a fabulous addition and will do a much better job probably than I've ever done. I thank Andrew and the team of our executives as well as the entire company for the amazing partnership that I've had here for 9.5 years at EA. It has been the most enjoyable experience of my entire career. I also thank the buy side and sell
Still
side
waiting for EA announcement
analysts
on
and
Apex Legends Mobile.
partners for all of their support over the years and wonderful interaction. And last but not least, I thank Chris Evenden, Aaron Ream, and Fabiola for their amazing IR performance that interacts with all of you. So now I'll hand the call back to Andrew.
Thank you, Blake. These are exciting times in our industry. Interactive entertainment continues to grow by
PUBG kids
every
will
measure,
hate if
and our
Apex Legends
audiences
Mobile
are
blow up.
expanding and diversifying.
Because Apex is not a
Major
game that you could
franchises
just
are
learn
center
in
in
1 month
culture
or something like that.
and the
You have to
world
give
is
a lot of
recognizing
time
how
on
games
Apex
have the
Legends.
power to connect global communities. Our focus continues to be on our people, our players, and our amazing portfolio of games, content, and services, and extraordinary growth opportunities in the future. Thanks to our incredibly talented teams in Electronic Arts, we are delivering entertainment to hundreds of millions of people around the world and connecting them through some of the most powerful and enduring franchises. With the breadth and depth of our business that continues to expand our network, deepen engagement, and drive growth in our recurring net bookings and ongoing profitability, we are well positioned strategically
इधर YT conference का चल रही है. Bro, this conference is basically a register only conference. It's going on one of the links provided by EA, and they are given to your Gmail account directly,
Chris is coming to us after more than 25 years
giving
at
you
Microsoft,
access. Yes,
where he
it's an
served as
official
corporate
EA
vice
conference.
president and chief financial officer of the Cloud and AI Group, which he led with incredible success during Microsoft's transformation to a cloud-first company. We have a big vision for the future, and in addition to Chris's financial leadership of our organization, I look forward to having him as a strategic partner with extensive experience driving scale and growth to help us achieve our goals. As we've announced previously, Blake will be leading our team after nearly a decade of leadership and partnership at EA. Blake has been an incredible leader, partner, and advisor. But most importantly, he is a dear friend, and I feel deeply grateful for our time working together. His expertise and the team he has built have been instrumental in our growth and financial
EA literally has great hopes and have great amount of planning done.
Until the summer to
Like, look
with
at
the
them, how
transition and
confidently they
special
are
projects.
speaking.
Thank you, Blake, for everything you've done and continue to do for our company. And again, thank you for your friendship. Now we're here for your questions.
As a reminder, to ask a question, you will need to press star 1 on your telephone. To withdraw your question, or if your question has been answered, press the pound or hash. Your first question comes from the line of Benjamin Soff from Deutsche Bank. Your line is now open.
Hey guys, just quick thank you to Blake for being a great partner, and looking forward to meeting Chris. 2 questions. So first, just around Battlefield, can you guys sort of frame for us how you think about the vision for the future of that franchise, and in particular how the new leadership for the Battlefield team is thinking about expanding and adapting that franchise over time? And then I've got a second question.
Yeah, great question. Again, we have very bold vision.
Okay, Battlefield question,
for where this
not
franchise goes.
related
This
to Apex
franchise
Legends
has
Mobile.
always led the category in creativity, innovation, scale, gameplay, community. And as we came into launch, again, we had a very bold vision for this game. As it turns out, we've had some
Did EA
challenges.
collab with Tencent? Yes,
not
EA
least of
may
all,
collab
trying to
with
build this game
Tencent,
in
and they
public
have to, as a
technology.
matter of fact, if
And
they have
so
to
our
bring Apex
focus
Legends
now
Mobile
is
in
really
China.
making
As
sure
you know that
core
China
experience
specific
lives
apps are
up
made.
to our fans and the
But except
community's
that,
expectations.
as
Beyond that,
the
we'll
collab
continue to
is
invest
pretty
and
much
grow
sure.
the
You can
franchise. We have
100%
great
bet on that
leadership
the
with
collab will
Vince
take
and
place.
Byron and others, with tremendous background from other great shooters in the industry, kind of leading the future. I believe that we're going to see this game do really well over the course of time. I think we'll expand to mobile and we'll expand to other new and interesting ways to play. But certainly this is just a moment where we take
That
a
I
pause
agree. Fortnite do
and,
host the best
do all
event.
that we can for the core game.
They are literally their concerts, their season
Got
changes,
it. And
the
then
story
just in light
behind
of the
season
announcement
changes,
that you
the
guys are
updates,
working
they're
on
awesome.
those 3 new Star Wars games.
But let's focus on
Can
Apex
you talk
Legends
a
Mobile.
little
It's a
bit
great
more
game
about
too,
your
man.
vision for that IP?
It's a
And
great game.
Is it fair to say that going forward you're planning to lean more towards investing in your own IP? And if so, what are some of the potential pros and cons of that as a strategy? Thanks.
Yeah, the very strength of our business is our balanced portfolio. We have both a deep and a broad portfolio, and what we've demonstrated over the course of our, the best part of 40 years, is to really develop both our own IP over time. Think Need for Speed, The Sims, Battlefield, Apex Legends, our BioWare franchises. We have Skate in development now, Dead Space on the way. So an incredible portfolio of owned IP that has an extraordinary following across the industry. Combined with other long-term enduring IP, we have the power of our sports franchises. And, they are true evergreen franchises. And this is not just about licensing content. This is about working with over 300 partners across the various sports industries to deliver a true connection with the sports, the leagues, the teams, the players that our fans love. And we've been doing that now for well over 30 years, and I think that we'll continue to do that for many, many years in the future. And things like the Star Wars franchise, again, a long-term relationship we've had with Disney for more than a decade. And this is not simply
Let us
about
closely listen to what they're trying to say.
or revisiting
Did it take
things
Apex
already
Legends'
existing in the
name?
universe, but really adding to that Star Wars universe and really delivering new opportunities for Star Wars fans to experience great Star Wars content. And so as you think about our strategy going forward and the strength of our company, it really comes down to our ability to develop and build and publish, industry-leading owned IP, but also work with partners over decades to truly deliver fan favorites with long and enduring fan bases like our sports franchises and like Disney.
Your next question comes from the line of Andrew Urquhart from Jefferies. Your line is now open.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, and just reiterate the positive sentiment from Blake. Blake has been a great run. Really enjoyed it. I guess I just had really one question, no follow-up. One of your bigger competitors was just taken out. You guys have quite the portfolio and have taken a portfolio approach for years. How do you think
Esport
the
tournaments are
industry will
definitely
look
going to be in FPV
in
mode
3 or 4
because
years?
Apex Legends
Do you guys
is
see yourself
mostly an
as a
FPV based game.
consolidator a potential
I cannot
seller?
see Apex Legends Mobile
How do you see this
turning into a
industry shaking
TPP
out
based game
over the
or
next
even
3 to 5
having
years?
tournaments in TPP
Thanks.
mode. Nah.
Yeah, great question.
It will take
and,
away
you
the
know, you should
real
imagine we've been
gist
thinking
of the
about this
game.
for some time, as it turns out. And part of the reason why we have built the strength in our broad and deep portfolio and why we have gone out in search of the best teams in the industry to bring them into our company and build great entertainment for a global player base of what is now well over 500 million fans, is because we do believe in the power of entertainment. We do believe in the power of interactive entertainment. I think what we're seeing now in the marketplace is demonstrative of the value of what we do in particular. And so as I think about the entertainment coming together, you're seeing some other companies talk about this, but when we think about our players and we think about the things that they engage in, they play our games more than any other form of entertainment, but they also consume, linear media and scripted entertainment and sports broadcast and music and other things. And so, as we look at the future, we are building strength in our core ability to deliver interactive entertainment to our fans, which we think will continue to grow well north of 1 billion fans over time. But we're also aware that
They are
our
still
fans
not.
are expecting
They are
us
still
to
haven't
find
said
new
anything on
interesting
Apex
ways
Legends
for them to
Mobile. Just
experience
for all the
entertainment.
newcomers to know.
And so as we think about the future, you should think about it with IP at the center and engagement around play, watch, create social ecosystem that brings fans together around the content they love. And when you look at our strategy of what we're doing around creating great entertainment, around building tools so that our community can engage more deeply, around the aggregation and distribution of content across platforms, across business models, across geographies, and really leaning into the social ecosystems that are born out of engagement in our games, I think you should imagine that's what the world looks a lot more like 4 or 5 years from now.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Your next question comes from the line of Mike Hickey from Benchmark. Your line is now open.
Yes. I will
Andrew, Blake,
upload
Chris, thanks for
probably a
taking my
video on all
questions,
they have
guys.
said
And
about
Blake,
Apex
we're
Legends
gonna
Mobile
miss
in
you,
the
bud.
conference.
I'm sure you'll be
Preferably
getting
on
a lot
this
of
channel
seeing,
which you are
so I'm
watching
not
right
feeling
now
sorry for you.
or on my channel,
But,
so you can
been
get
great working
updated.
with
If you're
you.
sleepy, go to sleep. I can understand.
Question is,
It's
I
literally
guess on Battlefield,
it's literally
obviously,
4
it's disappointed.
a.m. right
Can you
now.
can you size the units you sold in the quarter? I think you guided for 12 or so, but just sort of curious where you ended up versus expectations. And then thinking about how you sort of re-engage that audience, there's been some ideas around free-to-play. Curious if that's a possibility. And then I didn't hear mobile. Did you drop mobile for Battlefield, or was that just delayed? Thanks, guys.
So Mike, thanks for your nice comment to the other analysts as well. Unfortunately, I'm sure I won't get as much skiing as I would like, but we're going to refrain from trying to give updates on units because we know that they're. Remember, Battlefield is less than 10% of our revenue, so I'm not sure what you would do with that. Clearly, we sold less units, and so our goal is to add new excitement to stretch this out, and in some ways, we hope it benefits.
The boring thing about this conference is the fact that to listen a news for literally which has content of 3 to 2 minutes, we have to watch the whole conference.
And so it helps us in the future. I'll let Andrew.
Yeah, so I think that you remember coming into the launch, the demand metrics were very high, and so that reaffirms for us the core underlying creative for the game still has really strong demand around it. I think we, as I've mentioned, we had some challenges around, and there were some design decisions, but not all the community really agreed with. And so our focus, and as much as I hate to admit it, that has been able to do this a number of core and re-engage the community. Combination of DICE with the new leadership leadership and a strong vision for the future.
The connectivity
we will
issue
build
is
out the
from
core
EA's side, not our side, just to be clear.
over the course of time.
The streaming thing they're using for the
Mobile
platform
is still
is having connectivity issue.
Development, the metrics are showing up really strong. I think right now we're looking to go into the next closed beta. We'll continue to tune and test in the environment. And then as it relates to free-to-play and other modalities of play, again, we have a big, bold vision for this franchise. This franchise, since its inception, has been a leader in creativity and innovation, both of how it's played and how it's delivered. And you should expect that we will continue to work to deliver new and interesting ways to engage with this game over the course of time. And while, I'm disappointed with how it launched, I'm still very excited for the future.
Your next question comes from the line of Eric Handler from MKM Partners. Your line is now open.
Good afternoon, and thanks for the question. Andrew, I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about when you think
yes,
about
some
the
Indian YouTubers
expansion
have
that's
played
going on
Apex.
in the video game
They have
industry
even
over the
liked
last
it. They have commented their
year or
thoughts.
so, and we're seeing a
They have
lot
liked the
of
game in general.
user-generated content and platforms around that. Blockchain, NFT gaming. Wondering how you're thinking about, those channels eventually, and is it easier to build from within? Is it better to buy once there's some established players there? And just want to get your mindset there.
Yeah, great question. I would tell you, I started this industry over 20 years ago. At that point in time, it was the fastest growing entertainment industry on the planet by a wide margin. I think it has been the fastest growing entertainment industry on the planet.
They are going to get into the metaverse.
But still,
That's kinda
people seem
cool.
to be surprised by this. So
NFT-based
we're not
games.
surprised by it at all. And I think, as technology has continued to evolve, we have been able to deliver new and interesting and fun ways to engage with content. And what we've seen more recently is just how powerful the social ecosystems, the social networks born out of engagement in our games truly are. And it's not now just about ingesting entertainment in the same way you do traditional scripted media or traditional broadcast or traditional music. This is about experiencing entertainment with your friends. And that's unbelievably powerful. I think that has been really the fuel that has driven the growth in recent times. As part of that, of course, the ability to create your own content and put it into that ecosystem has become a really valuable part of what our industry offers to our players and our fans that traditional media just doesn't. And this is something that we hold true. Again, it's been at the very center of The Sims for a long time. It's at the very center of modes like FIFA Ultimate Team and Madden Ultimate Team. It's at the very center of the design of Skate, which will be launching soon. And so this concept of UGC, or user-generated content, is really just an extension of the social interaction that I'm able to have with my friends in and around experiencing what is the best entertainment on the planet.
So this
So I
happens,
believe that's going to be a really
Mishra,
important part of
as
our future.
Mishra, this
Now,
happens
the
a lot,
extent whether
brother.
we want to, build that out or buy it
They are
over
going
time.
to
Right now, we
literally
are
discuss
building,
so many
we're
things,
building
and
technology, we're
probably
building
will
creative,
tell
we're
us
building assets,
hardly
and we're
3 to
offering
4
that out
minutes
to
worth content
communities
of
around
Apex
the world,
Legends
and we're seeing great
mobile.
uptake of that. If there was an acquisition opportunity in the future, we would openly look at that, but we're not looking at anything at this juncture. VCs are investing again. We see this also happen in our industry. We saw it with 3D, we saw it with AR, VR. We're now seeing with NFTs. There's always something in and around our industry that is driving a lot of external investment. The way I look at this is collectability is really built on 4 key metrics. It's around high quality content, it's around scarcity, it's around provable authenticity, and it's around a group of people that find value in that content. And we've seen that happen in the real world, and we've seen that happen in the virtual world. We've certainly seen that happen in and around our games for some number of years. And I believe that collectability will continue to be an important part of our industry and the games and experiences that we offer our players. Whether that's as part of NFT and the blockchain, well, that remains to be seen. And I think, the way we think about it is we want to deliver the best possible player experience we can. And so we'll evaluate that over time, but right now it's not something that we're driving hard against.
Thank you very much.
Your next question comes from the line of Matthew Thornton from Truist Securities. Your line is now open.
Hey, good afternoon, Andrew and Blake. Absolute best of luck to you in your future endeavors here. It's been a pleasure. I guess two questions. First, for me, you guys talked about
ice cream,
in the back half of the fiscal year. Obviously, Battlefield missed. That's partially offset by strength in FIFA, Apex, and others. With FIFA in particular, I guess you talked a lot about kind of unit strength year on year. I'm just kind of curious how you felt about or are feeling about Ultimate Team and the live services component into the back half of the year. I guess that's the first question. Second question. Curious, coming back to mobile and maybe some of the recent acquisitions, kind of curious if you could talk a little bit about how you're thinking about advertising. I know it's come up a bit. Other companies might get 10 to 20% of their mobile bookings from advertising. Glue brings some new capabilities to you, so I'm curious how you're thinking about advertising. Curious how you're thinking about the Glue pipeline. Almost a year into that deal. And then also when we might start to hear a little more about kind of what your plans are with Metalhead and Super Mega Baseball. Thanks, guys.
So I'll start on the live service piece, and then I'll let Andrew hit the second question. Live service growth in the quarter was 9%, and trailing 12 months is 21%, and that's across all of our live services. And so if you look at something like Apex or FIFA, they're clearly well north of that. And we continue to feel it is one of the cores of our business because it is reoccurring and highly dependent on the social networks.
Tell us
that we've
about Apex
created
Legend
in our
Mobile.
games,
Tell us
and
about Apex
particularly
Legend
on
Mobile,
sports.
man.
Those are evergreen networks that continue every
We
year.
don't want to
And
listen
so
about
the
FIFA and
metrics
stuff.
we see are exceptional, up well over last year. You look at the Apex numbers as we reported, a dramatic improvement year over year, and everything they do is continuing to try to drive engagement with people. They've brought in a large number of new players into the game, retained players, and continue to come up with amazing and unique ideas for ways to play. So we're very excited about how that continues, and it continues across all of our sports, and we're looking as to how do we do that across more and more games going forward. So I'll let Andrew talk about Glue a little bit.
Yeah. Again, we are working closely with Glue. It's still relatively early days. With the acquisition for both them and Playdemic, and we're working both on bolstering our existing 15 live services and building out new ones. And as per my prepared remarks, we're projecting well into double-digit growth next year, and that includes Apex Mobile and a renewed FIFA Mobile, and a full year of Golf Clash, and ongoing growth across the portfolio. And we're excited about that. With respect to advertising specifically, we are taking the Glue advertising stack and applying it across our games. And it's a little early to know just yet exactly how that will manifest, but based on what we're seeing across the industry, we expect that represents some revenue growth there also. So overall, mobile now really is a strength of ours. It's a very important part of how we drive growth in the business, both in our existing games, in our new launches, and with the potential of mobile advertising across the portfolio.
Your next question comes from the line of Drew Crum from Stifel. Your line is now open.
Okay, thanks. Hey guys, good afternoon, and Blake, best of luck. Curious as to your thoughts on where the business is in terms of engagement normalizing. Is the reopening headwind behind you, or is this something we should anticipate in calendar 22? Is it contemplated in your fiscal 23 net bookings forecast? And then separately, your OpEx growth year to date is approaching 30% year on year. Should we see that slow materially once you start the anniversary acquisitions, or how should we be thinking about OpEx going forward? Thanks.
Yeah, I can take the OpEx question quickly, Drew. I mean, clearly most of that was driven by two things. One is our acquisitions, probably the biggest driver of it, but second is driven by the fact that we've used this opportunity of some, questions in the gamer community about which companies are going to be around and which aren't, and we've been able to hire some amazing talent during that because of our stability. And so that doesn't continue on forever. Obviously, the acquisition growth is a one-time component. So I think remember, our OpEx really comes down to two things: headcount and marketing expense. So the marketing expense will swing by the titles that are in any one year, but we're pretty good at managing that. And the headcount, we're also very good at managing. And so I don't think you're going to see a jump like we've seen this past year. But remember, even with the OpEx growth that you see, look at the Q3 EPS number. I mean, clearly we've been able to manage that even with a downdraft of, $48 million in revenue that we didn't originally plan. And so we were a pretty flexible organization to be able to try to manage that to keep margins going. And so I think you'll see that going forward.
On engagement, through or post-COVID, depending on how you think about it, I think we've been on a rolling situation around the world of kind of coming back and, shutting down a little and coming back. Broadly speaking, though, much of the world is out and about. They're at sporting events. They're going to theme parks. They're watching movies. They're going to dinner. So much of the world has returned mostly to normal at this juncture by our calculation. Even as part of that, we've seen, not only number of players grow, again, over 540 million people now in our network, but we've also seen time spent in our games grow by over 20%. And I kind of looked at that as not just about creating amazing games and entertainment, but it is the social interaction. I think what COVID has taught us is that games are a great way not just to get our entertainment fix, to remain deeply connected with our friends and fans and rivals. And what we're seeing now, I believe, is actually the long-term effect of the discovery of not just the value of what we do in terms of entertainment, but also the value in maintaining connections with those we care most about. And we would expect that to continue and actually create a flywheel for added growth.
They are literally telling us about how
Your
COVID
next
has affected
question
them,
comes from the line of Jason
how much
Bazinet
depth they
from
are in,
Citi.
and
Your
how
line
much
is
money
open.
they made, how much grateful they are to all the members,
a little bit early to talk
praising
about this,
themselves.
but, I would be very curious about how you're thinking
Classic
about
company.
your business and strategy as it relates to the metaverse as that becomes more real. Is that something that you view as just another opportunity for you to engage your fans? Is it a battle about time spent? Does it potentially sort of change industry sort of rev shares, or is it just sort of a non-event and you guys think you can sort of continue to focus on your IP and engagement and it's really sort of not material? Thanks.
The hot topic is
Yeah,
metaverse,
a
guys. The
great
hot
question.
topic is
It's certainly another
metaverse.
one of these things that is kind of the topic
Everyone is
du
so
jour
hooked up on
at
the topic.
moment.
Everyone wants to know about it.
And many
About
people are
how
talking
awesome
about it.
these
In
companies,
different
such big as
contexts, quite
EA,
frankly.
are going to make a change
At
into
the
the
end of the
metaverse.
day, the metaverse is a three-dimensional social space where you come together to experience things with your friends. And for now, much of that happens in the two-dimensional internet around, the social networks that we see. But I would tell you, a lot of that happens in the context of our games. And as I look at the nature of our games and I look at the engagement that we're seeing inside these 3D spaces that we create in and around sports and other worlds, what you see with our industry is the beginnings of what a metaverse might be. And over the course of time, you should expect us to continue to expand and extend the world that we have been creating for the last 30 years and deliver more experiences beyond the core conceit of the game. So what can you do in FIFA beyond playing football? What will you do in Need for Speed beyond driving a game? What will you do in The Sims as you come together with your friends beyond the creation of content? And you'll see that continue to evolve for us over the course of time. And I don't know ultimately what the metaverse will become, but what I do know is that the games we create are becoming more important as social spaces than they are just as places to enjoy great entertainment. As we continue to build out those experiences, as whatever the metaverse becomes, it's an almost certainty that we will play a very important role in it, and that our players will be on the leading edge of the evolution of what these spaces might become.
That's super helpful. Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Mike Young from Goldman Sachs. Your line is now open.
Hi, good afternoon, and thanks for the question. I just have two. First, I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about EA Play. You know, where are we with EA Play subscribers today, and how do you see the outlook for video game subscription services changing, particularly with recent consolidation? And then second, it was encouraging to hear the reiteration of the mid to high single-digit top-line growth for next year. I was just wondering if you could go a little bit more in detail around some of the drivers.
They're
what do
mainly
you see
focusing on the
driving
PC
some of
and
the FIFA
PlayStation
strength,
platform
and
and on
are
the
there
NFT
new games
platform,
or
on
unannounced
iOS
titles
platform.
embedded in that outlook? Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me quickly hit on the EA Play component, and then I'll let Blake talk about the mid to high single digit growth. EA Play continues to grow for us. It continues to be a really, really positive consumer experience. They're getting access to some of the greatest content in the industry. What we see more broadly across entertainment is that subscription continues to be a core driver, and that what we're able to do is drive ongoing engagement, perhaps in a way that's stronger than traditional linear or scripted entertainment. I think that we will continue to see consumers engage in our content through subscription, and we'll continue to provide our content that way. And I think we'll start to see more and more growth across platform. And we continue to be, the leading provider of a gaming subscription cross platforms in our industry. And with the depth and breadth of our portfolio and the new experiences we have coming, we believe that we're going to continue to drive growth there. And over the course of time, back to my earlier point around entertainment, you might expect us to do more things beyond just games in the context of that subscription around a broader service for our players. And we're pretty excited about what that might become over the course of time.
And, on the 23 question, obviously, as we said, we're not yet ready to give guidance, which we normally don't do at this time of the year, but we did give some hints. And, the keys to driving growth are obviously our core portfolio, things like FIFA, for example, and live services associated with it, Madden, hockey, other sports. Apex Legends obviously has continued to evolve and shown amazing growth. We will have an Apex Legends mobile game in the market. We don't know exactly what time that will be, and there will be a global build for that game as well as a Chinese build for that game. And we're working with a partner there, and things are going very well in test, but we're excited about that as a major growth driver. We will have more growth, we think, out of the FIFA mobile game that we just put into the market. And remember that we only had or booked really a half a year of Playdemic's Golf Clash game. We'll have a full year of that next year. And we're working with Playdemic on how they can take that Clash mechanic into other sports areas where we have licenses already. And then we've got a Need for Speed game coming, and there are 3 or 4 more things that we haven't announced yet, but you can imagine we are always trying to find ways to grow the portfolio year over year through new titles, new IP, and expansion, and as well acquisition.
So nothing much on Apex Legends Mobile. They have said that they do not have any fixed date on the release of global, the world version, as well as the Chinese version. No fixed
like a strong
date.
year to come. And as Andrew said, we know that this is one of the greatest entertainment vehicles in the world right now, and so we're really in the sweet spot, and that's what gets us excited about it.
Great. Thank you both.
Your next question comes from the line of Mario Lu from Barclays. Your line is now open.
Great. Thanks for taking the questions. And Blake, it's been a pleasure interacting with you. Yeah, I guess the first question is more high level. You guys said in your slides, spending, playing time is increased 20%. this quarter compared to the year prior. What was the largest driver of that? And I don't know if you have this data, but what's the typical lag historically between? And then secondly, you guys didn't really talk about Madden as much on this call, so just wondering what the delta is between its performance versus like a FIFA. Are things like preview packs and FIFA kind of driving the growth here? Anything out of Madden that you can talk about? Thanks.
So let me start with Madden. Madden is also having a great year, and we're seeing tremendous growth. As you know, and for all of you who follow the season, this has been an unbelievably exciting for a second. You know, the playoff games and the season overall has been an unbelievably exciting game. The ratings for the NFL have been, you know, extremely strong through the year, and that's driving really strong engagement in and around our Madden franchise. And it continues. With respect to what drove engagement, you know, again, we have this great portfolio, and while we certainly saw extraordinary growth in Apex Legends, we saw great growth in FIFA. We also saw growth across the portfolio, and on, you know, Apex was 30%. You know, FIFA was our EA Sports portfolio was up 10% on what is a very big number. But you know, we've seen growth across the portfolio, the breadth and the depth of our portfolio. In terms of lag between engagement and monetization growth, which I think was one part of your question there, I don't have exact numbers for you on that. What I would tell you is our teams work very closely with the communities and ensure that they're always providing new and interesting content. And what we know about all of our communities,
Apex Legends Mobile, they haven't given any fixed date yet. They just said that they do not have a fixed date for Apex Legends Mobile global as well as Chinese
build
release.
that balanced ecosystem that speaks to the strength of our live services over time. And so it's a very symbiotic relationship that happened between the investment of time and the investment of money over. We're very good at that and work very, very closely with the communities to drive it.
Yeah, and one thing I just remind everybody, and we may have
मुझे डेटॉल आंखों में भी डालना है और कानों में भी डालना है. मैं क्या सुन रहा हूँ ये?
You know, we shipped last year FIFA
Symbiotic relationship यार. Venom ला जाओ.
The pandemic, we delayed it 3 weeks and moved it into the third quarter. We shipped it this year in the second quarter. So when you look at the growth of the third quarter, knowing that that didn't include the initial ship-in of FIFA, it's almost hard to believe the strength of the business. And so I just want people not to forget that. And we're not going to provide numbers or details around that exactly, but just know that to see the growth that we saw after having...
Very helpful. Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Andrew Marok.
Thanks for taking my questions, and wanted to pass my best wishes on to Blake as well. On Apex Legends, so Season 12 seems like a more substantial content drop than a typical season. So content or type of content, is there anything that particularly stands out as a driver for new player acquisition and engagement, whether it's game modes, new maps, or things like that? And then second, on FIFA, around the growth in unit sales year over year, I guess at this point, who was interested in FIFA 22 that maybe wasn't in FIFA 21? Were there any particular markets or customer segments that saw solid unit growth? Thank you.
Wow, some detailed questions, but great questions. So thank you. On Apex, again, as the teams put together these seasons of content and they think about new content and new modalities of play and new ways to connect. Remember, Apex is now well over 100 million players, and so there's no one-size-fits-all component that really attracts new players or engages, you know, any broad group of players deeply. I think what the Respawn team and the Apex team in particular have with their community, they're deeply engaged with their community, and they're delivering content, modalities of play, maps, you know, these things that asking for and need. And what we've seen since the very beginning of the launch of this game is them being able to work in a very calculated way around the delivery of really interesting new content play on a season-by-season basis that has continued to grow the overall player base, continue to grow the overall experience, continue to grow the engagement that player base has with the experience, and the investment those players are making as part of their engagement. And so we're very excited about that. And then with respect to FIFA,
I'm gonna be sure,
again,
so I'm
this is another
happy
team that has
as much
demonstrated
as
the power of
we
working
got a
very
soft
closely
launch
with the
announcement. That's a
community
big
around,
thing.
a live
Of course, they're
service.
not clear when the
Football,
global is going
soccer,
to
as we
be,
call it in this
but
country,
I think they will
continues to
first see
grow.
how the soft launch
The
works,
leagues, the teams,
how
the
popular
players
it
are going
gets,
from
and then they will
strength
move
to
to
strength
global
in
and fix the
popularity,
dates for it.
licenses in the game, and 300 partners that we work with, a growing, broadening, deepening experience for our player base.
But
And
we want
as
soft launch
the world of
dates. Soft launch dates.
build our fan base. Again, if you think about the fan base we have for our product or our service, it's the largest digital football club in the world with well over 100 million fans. And we work very closely with that fan base around their ability to experience football in a way that's most meaningful to them, around their leagues, around their teams, around the players they love. And the reason we're able to continue to drive growth in and around that franchise is because we do work very closely with our global community of fans, and we are delivering realities of play that is most interesting and most exciting to them and connects them most deeply with the sport they love and the fans they love it with.
Question comes from the line of Doug Creutz from Cowen. Your line is now open.
Hey, thank you. Paramount Plus dropped a pretty expensive-looking Halo trailer over the weekend, and Netflix has had some success with The Witcher and League of Legends on their streaming service. There's absolutely ravenous demand for content right now from a half a dozen or so streaming services, and you guys have some IP, particularly within BioWare, that I think would be pretty good as a basis for a show. Are we finally at a point where video game IP has some meaningful transmedia opportunities, more a theory than a reality?
No, I think what, based on exactly what you just said and what we've experienced, there's, video game IP or interactive entertainment IP is now some of the most culturally relevant IP in all of entertainment. And I think that's going to continue to grow when you think about, around the IP we create, like The Sims, like Need for Speed, like our BioWare franchises, like Dead Space, like Skate. It's not unnatural for that to spawn kind of a scripted element. I think traditionally the scripted entertainment elements in our industry
They're literally talking about everything except the game
that
we want to listen to.
They've lifted the overall engagement of the franchise more deeply, so there's kind of a 1-2 punch that drives growth in the business. I think as we think about our future, we do believe that this entertainment is becoming more and more important on a daily basis to all fans, and that our fans are going to want to experience that in many different modalities, and some of that might be scripted entertainment in nature. And you should expect that we're looking at any and all aspects that allow us to extend and expand our brands for our fan base, but that we're doing it very thoughtfully, and again, as part of our strategy, doing it profitably.
Your fans voted.
Thanks, Doug.
Your fans
Look,
literally want to
everyone,
date.
that's the last
That's
question.
all
I
your fans are asking.
And I'll be around for a while and make sure that we get our new CFO fully on board. And as I said, he'll be much better than me. So everyone stay healthy, and we look forward to talking to you.
This concludes today's conference call. Thank you for participating. You may now disconnect.
Wait, that's it? That's it? Nothing, no fucking announcement. What was this? This is literally the biggest scam. चूतिया बना दिया यार. अरे यार, so see, everyone who has not paid attention, the only thing they have said about Apex Legends Mobile is that they are going to work on soft launch, making it better, and that they have no clue as to when the global launch is going to release. इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे कटा है अपना, समझ रहे हो? इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे कटा है. इस चुल्लू पर पानी में डूब के मर जाऊंगा मैं. Chalo guys, it was nice meeting you all. Once again, subscribe the channel. Also check out the description, because there's the link of my channel, my global channel, that it is literally going to be focused on Apex Legends Mobile, content of Apex Legends Mobile of various ways, in various challenges, live streams. Also subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss the great things that this channel is going to bring. Apex Legends Mobile Indian community is definitely going to grow, and this Discord server is going to be the major part of it. Join the Discord server if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel and to this channel, and I will see you again in the next video. Let's hope that I get to cast for you all once again, that we get to bond once again, and that we will be good friends, we will play the game, and we will enjoy together. Bye bye, have a great day. I really pray you have a great day, because we are literally sad from what they have said. Once again, soft launch, they are going to work to bring it as fast as possible. Global, it's nothing fixed. Nothing is fixed in global. I guess after soft launch, they are going to actually focus on global and make global a success. But let's see what they do. iOS, no update on iOS. All the updates are on Android only. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. It's your caster, Zorus Sensei. Make sure that you follow us, and we will love to hear your thoughts about this in the chat as well as the comment section. Bye bye guys, take care, and please take that sweet sleep, because I'm going to.